I don't need it. I don't need it. I definitely don't need it. I 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 need it!
So today, Mafex finally showed off official product images of the TASM 2 Spider-Man. And if you're sitting there thinking, that's not what it's supposed to be, it's the No Way Home one, because that's the movie that came out with all these guys. No. Figuarts is the only one that did No Way Home because they did not have the TASM license. That's why you saw Hot Toys, Marvel Legends, and now Mafex list them like that, because I'm guessing he didn't license out his facial likeness to these companies for No Way Home, so those that had the original one just went back and used that to get his likeness. So, for me, it is a must-have figure. I honestly, don't tell anyone, but I kind of like TASM 2. It's a bit of a guilty pleasure for me, and so happy to see this figure, because I didn't like the SH Figuarts ones. I thought the shoulder was too low, it made the neck look really long, and Hot Toys is just too expensive to collect all of those, so I'm so happy to see this. But it wasn't the only Mafex figure revealed today, as we have been getting images on Instagram of other releases. I don't know what it's at. It looks like some kind of con, something. Might be in Japan, might be over here. At first I thought it was like San Diego, but it's not that, I don't think. So who knows? But we did get some new DC figures, some new Marvel ones, so let's talk about those. And starting off, my biggest want from DC's license, from Mafex, is getting made. That is right, Tim Drake. Now, it is the Hush one instead of Nightfall, which is what I would have preferred, but really the only difference between the two is that his belt is bigger on the Nightfall one, at least from comparing comic panels. That's the big difference. So I'm not too mad about it, It looks good. I'm really excited for it. I can't wait to see the official product images. But that is not the only Batman Hush figure they're going to be putting out, as they did show off 2 new Batman. Now these are just gray, unpainted ones. The first one has, it looks to be just the original blue Batman Hush, but with new accessories, like they show him holding a sword. So if you guys know what that's alluring to, please tell me in the comments, as I do not own the Hush storyline, nor have I ever read it. So I should know it, but I don't. Anyway, the other Batman looks to be closer to Nightfall, with the circular, what am I looking for, symbol on his chest, but the bulkier build of Hush. So that might be pretty good, I'm not too sure. Along with showing off a Bruce Wayne behind, which figure was that it was behind? Anyways, it's a Bruce Wayne. You cannot see the head sculpt, so I'm not too sure on it yet. It is based off Hush. It's kind of just him in a trench coat, so if you've been wanting a Bruce Wayne for your shelf, you think you've really been missing it, there you go. You'll be able to buy one in probably a year, maybe a year and a half. But the last figure they did reveal, or that I have seen revealed, was Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul, however you want to say it. I normally call him Ra's, so that's what I'll say. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But anyway, it does look to just be a really basic body with a new sculpt head, so more proof of concept than an actual figure, because there's no detailing on him, nothing like that. So who knows? I mean, I think it'll probably be good. I'm excited to see it. Will I buy it? Probably not, because these are expensive, and if you're not essential from DC, at least for me, if you're not essential, you're not making the cut. And speaking of not making the cut, they did reveal some new and older, but now with some paint apps, figures from the DCEU, including Aquaman and Manta, or Black Manta. I do not have a picture of Black Manta, But you can see the Aquaman here, along with another figure I'm going to talk about in just a minute. But, I mean, he looks good. It's not for me. I don't think it'll be for a lot of people, because I saw no one talk about that movie when it came out. So, I don't know. We'll see how it does. I could see Black Manta doing okay, because that's just a cool character design. And honestly, that one, I think, could probably fit into your comic collection. But along with that, we also saw The Flash from, well, Ezra Miller's The Flash. Now, you know, I think everyone's pretty divided on what they think about that movie, you know. I like the story, but I hate the execution. I don't think it was very good. The CGI was god-awful. But the character designs, I did actually like. I think I'm in a bit of a minority on that. But I did kind of like his suit. And as I think we saw last year, just like gray sculpted one, we now see it with some paint, along with his other timeline variant wearing a Batman suit. Which, it does give me hope that we will be able to get a Michael Keaton Batman along with a Supergirl from that movie, whose actress's name is escaping my mind at this moment. And to wrap up the DC reveals of today, we also got the Suicide Squad's Peacemaker and Bloodsport. Bloodsport, that was his name, right? I think so. Idris Elba's character in it. Yeah, it was Bloodsport, right? Anyway, I digress. He looks good, he looks fine. You know, it's whatever to me. I'm not as excited for him as I am Peacemaker. Now, ever since the Peacemaker show came out, oh my gosh, I have been wanting them so badly to do this. Like, I looked at the Hot Toys, looked at the price, and said no. There was another one that was like 8-inch, so I didn't get that. But now that we're finally getting a proper 1/12 scale Peacemaker, oof, can't wait to see if they get that John Cena head sculpt right. Because if they do, you already know this is going to be a must-have for me. Same goes for Bloodsport. Now, with him, you can see a lot more of the detailing in his photo, so outside of the head, which just doesn't have a lot, we'll have to wait for paint, I think those may burn a bit of a hole in my wallet. And moving on over to the Marvel side of things, as you all know, the X-Men had their grand return with X-Men 97, and to celebrate that, Mafex re-released many of their X-Men figures, which is how I got a hold of their Jean Grey, which, fantastic, by the way, along with their Gambit. I got those two figures, and those two are now some of my favorites in my collection. Cannot wait to get a hold of Cyclops. Probably won't get Wolverine or Storm just because of, like, little things, because Storm, not really my ideal look, and Logan doesn't have many accessories, but we're not here to talk about them. Today they revealed a new Jubilee figure, and oh my gosh, finally getting this character with cloth goods, you know, that nice cloth trench coat. It'll be so good when it finally comes out, and I cannot wait for that to finally hit pre-order, because honestly, like, she's one of the big missing pieces. Because I have the old, I think it was Warlock, that's the name of him, right? Wave Jubilee, or, well, what, anyway, tell me in the comments what wave it was. I have that one, I do like that one, but the trench coat does kind of limit her articulation, so I'm excited to see that they're with this one now. And sticking with the X-Men, they also showed off their X-Men Age of Apocalypse figures. I about forgot the name. Of course, we already have the Magneto out, and we saw the Weapon X and Cyclops last year, but this year, was it Nathan? It's the Cable of that version, and listen, I don't love the story, but that design is enough to get me. Because I don't know why, but I just really dig the post-apocalyptic look. And for whatever reason, Nathan Summers, I think that's what it is, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, he almost got me with the Marvel Legend. To see a Mafex like it, maybe the price will talk me out of it, but this might break my bank on him. And honestly, whenever Dave at Displaying Model Behavior gets his Age of Apocalypse videos out, oh, it's going to make it so much harder to resist these figures for me. And the final Marvel reveal as far as comics go, we have a new $20.99 Venom. This is pretty unexpected for me. Like, I didn't think we'd ever get that, especially from Mafex, you know, like maybe Marvel Legends would get around to it one day. But Mafex doing it gives me hope that we will see some more obscure characters get this really, nice articulation, all that kind of stuff. So the only photos we have of him are pretty blurry, and one of them he's just sitting in the corner, so you can't really see him. But what we do see and what I do know of him, like character design-wise, looks great. It's, of course, not painted. I'm just talking sculpt. And when we move over to the films, they did show off some new Black Panthers, of all things, for the Infinity Saga. The notable one for me being T'Chaka from the first Black Panther. I really love this design, so it'll be hard for me to resist, but I think I will. The one that I might not be able to, though, is the Civil War Black Panther, because for me, T'Challa's design peaked where it started. Like, they did it best, and they haven't been able to get away from that since, in my opinion. We also got a quick look at the new Final Swing, or I think they're calling it officially like the new red and blue suit for Tom Holland. Now, you can't see much of it, but I do think it looks pretty good. The real question will be, can it stack up against the SH Figuarts, because that one is being hailed as like the best Spider-Man figure ever made, by myself included. Like, I love that figure. I have it sitting right here. It's one of the few that came with me. And just looking at him now, looks fantastic. I do think the blue on this Mafex one does look a little better, but we'll see when we start getting them in person and in hand, and when actual photos start coming out for it. But in that same picture, we got a look at the Andrew Garfield integrated suit Tom Holland and Tobey Maguire in hand. And, oof. Toby and Andrew are not looking good on camera. Like, Andrew specifically looks really bloated, I guess is the best way to put fat, if you want to call it. Like, he looks really big. Tom Holland looks nice. And Toby, he looks a little big, so I'm kind of wondering if it's not maybe some lighting problems, that kind of thing. So, here's hoping, and he does look very different, I'm talking Andrew specifically, than he does in his, official product shots. So maybe they've gotten a better version done since then. But yeah, honestly, the only other thing I can really say about these is, with these in-person photos, I do think Toby's shoulder issue that was more present in the promo images is less noticeable. Like, I'd seen some people concerned that, like, his shoulder area, because of all the cuts and gaps from the neck to the butterfly joint to the shoulder itself, wouldn't look very good, but honestly, I think it isn't as noticeable as in really high, really good lighting, It might be one of those things that the camera picks up better than the human eye. And finally, to end things off for today, we did get a new look at the painted A-Train and Queen Maeve figures. Now, I believe that does end it for the boys. I think that's all they have left to reveal. Unless we get some Season 4 figures, me personally, I would love to get a Huey. That would be great. I would kill to get a Huey. That fantastic. I don't know if I'd want him as much in the Web Weaver suit, but I'd take what I could get. But yeah, I think the Queen Maeve looks pretty good. She looks fine. I'm not super excited for the figure, because for me, my boys collection is mainly just Homelander, Butcher, and Soldier Boy. And maybe A-Train. Not likely when I see that price. And then, if they ever release him, Huey. and I'd add Starlight because of that. But outside of those 5, I'm good. So really, if I can cut it down to just Butcher, Soldier Boy, Homelander, I'll be fine. But yeah, that A-Train does look very, very tempting, seeing him in person like this. But that does it for today's reveals. So guys, tell me what you think of them in the comments below. Which ones really grab your eye? Which ones really grabbed your wallet? Because for me, as I already said, there's a lot. You know, Tim Drake, the Spider-Man, except for the integrated suit, are all probably going to be gets. Peacemaker, Bloodsport, I mean, there's a lot of them here that I think I will end up getting. I don't think I talked about it, but the Mafex Andrew, he does go up for pre-order tomorrow, probably about noonish, if not in the morning. If you want to get him for cheaper prices, HobbyLink Japan, AmiAmi.com, those can be really good sources because he's generally probably going to be about $60 if I had to guess on there. Whereas your Big Badge, your Entertainment Earths, Nerdzoic are going to be about $100. So, give or take. So do be looking out for him tomorrow if you are wanting to get one. And yeah, without further ado, guys, just remember to hit the like button and subscribe, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye.